You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Bremen Motor Cars and by Wellington Anti-Aging. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show here today. I'm Kevin. I got Diener hanging out with me today. Going to talk a lot about football.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's I'm all fired up about. I can't figure out what I'm most fired up about. Got preseason action tomorrow night with the Dolphins. That's kind of cool. Hard Knocks was on TV last night. This Brett McMurphy is one of the biggest hacks I've ever seen as a reporter.
Oh, so you've come to that conclusion. Okay.
I was losing my mind last night. You know, it's so crazy. It's like, you ever have something and you hate it so much, but you can't pull away from it.
Sure.
Social media has that weird thing where you just, it gets you so fired up. And I'm like, I'm telling myself, I'm like, stop, dude. What's wrong with you? Pull yourself away from this. I'm freaking so obsessed. They got to end this quick. They got whatever they decide. And at this point, I'm getting to the point. Leo was talking about this the other day, where it's like you just get to the point where like you're so angry you become numb, and you're just like, at this point, I don't care. Just give me an answer, one way or the other. But it's just driving me crazy. Just sitting here watching all these stupid stories about this whole thing that's going on at Ohio State with Urban Meyer, and what's driving me crazy is just the hack reporting that is going on with Brett McMurphy and the way that ESPN is just putting him on a pedestal, and Paul Feinbaum is kissing his ass nonstop.
It's hilarious to see.
Unbelievable. It really is. It's just like, come on, man. You really can't believe what you're saying. Again, it just goes to show, we were talking about this yesterday, that ESPN has zero integrity anymore. There's, it used to be for me, and just even recently, ESPN, if you wanted like legit sports news, you would go to ESPN, and if you wanted like sports entertainment, then you go to Barstool.
Yeah.
But now, I don't know what it is. ESPN's become a Barstool, but Barstool's doing it better than you. So what is ESPN going to be when you can't trust them? Like, honestly, like Feinbaum's show is like there's no integrity. It's just complete like emotion, and it's based on nothing at all. And man, he had Brett McMurphy on yesterday, this guy who, everybody's, he broke the Urban Meyer story and all that kind of stuff. And it's just amazing how there's really only one side of it being told. And this Brett McMurphy, man, it's really such a personal vendetta this dude has right now. And I'll go on record. Look, yeah, I'm a Ohio State homer, and I love Ohio State, but I've even said this: if Urban Meyer covered up domestic abuse, and he should have made some moves, and he didn't, Urban Meyer's got to go.
Right.
So I believe in that.
Yeah, you said that many times.
And I believe in due process. I believe that, you've got to fully investigate to find out what was going on and say, look, would a reasonable person in this situation have acted? Should it have been his responsibility to act? Especially when he makes it such a mantra of his. It's on the walls there in Columbus. When you walk through the Woody Hayes Athletic Center, it's there. Treat women with respect.
Yeah.
If he doesn't live up to that, then, you got nothing left. But this Brett McMurphy thing is just, it's unreal. Just, kind of watching what is going on with this. And he's, kind of gone after Urban's wife. And then he was sitting there. The thing that probably bothered me the most is, when it comes to reporting, you get part of the story and then you get the other side of it. That's really where good reporting falls, is you're like, okay, I'm hearing Courtney Smith's side. I'm getting some information on that. And then I need to get a reaction from the people that, in a sense, it's accusing or they're also involved with it, being, i.e., Urban Meyer's wife, at least saying, hey, can you give me a statement? And he was on doing an interview with Deadspin, and Deadspin's like, so you haven't gone to Urban, Shelley Meyer, anybody else that's accused of any of this stuff to kind of get their take on it. You're just kind of rolling with everything that you're seeing there. I mean, the other side of this would be to get an explanation. And he's like, well, I knew they would give me a no comment anyway, so why bother? I mean, that's not what reporting is. I mean, reporting is trying to get to the facts of it.
Sure.
It's not just, saying, hey, I'm going to gaslight, one side of the story, which is really what it is. And then at this point, it's because Urban Meyer made that comment at Big Ten Media Days that he took so personally. I think it's because he's been axed by ESPN. He is just out trying to burn the village down, is really what he's doing with his reporting. And ESPN is just having him on and patting him on the back and continuing to bring it out without calling anything into question. The one thing was just that he had initially reported about the aggravated domestic battery on his Facebook page, and he's made multiple changes to his Facebook page. They've gone back and proved that. When the question was brought up to Urban Meyer, currently at that moment on Brett McMurphy's Facebook page, it said aggravated domestic battery. That's what Urban Meyer had investigated. And he's like going, I don't know anything about that. And he had his people check, and they came back and said, nothing's coming up. And that's why Urban Meyer said, I don't know who reports something like that.
Right.
Brett McMurphy takes that personally. And then it even got to the point where he was trying to pin that Urban Meyer was passively aggressively doing stuff to Zach Smith, saying, oh, well, if you look in 2015, he barely got any kind of raise at all. But Brett McMurphy, again, is doing half reporting in this, because if you look at 2013, he got a $6,000 raise. Zach Smith did in 2015, but in 2013, he only got a $5,000 raise. Other years, yeah, he got a pretty ginormous raise. So he's trying to say that Urban Meyer was punishing him because he was throttling his wife in 2015.
That's kind of a big assumption to make, right? I mean, we don't know
Absolutely.
that's true.
I mean, that's just kind of what it is, where it's like Brett McMurphy and basically what he's doing. That's why the reporting bothers me. And it bothers me that ESPN is putting it on such a pedestal, is he's gone past the facts, and he's now basically going out there and telling you the rest of the story without asking it. And unfortunately, he is writing the narrative, this whole Urban Meyer story that's not based on facts. It's like this guy's writing a fictional novel about this, and ESPN is just, blasting it out there. And it's so ridiculous to the point where it's like, is it going to affect a fair investigation? Hopefully the people who are on this committee investigating what really happened are not listening to Brett McMurphy, not listening to Paul Feinbaum, and not watching ESPN. And to me, it not only damages his career, where's it going to go? Because people, I think, are starting to sniff out what Brett McMurphy's doing. He took photos of that ridiculous rally that happened the other night. That is the background on his social media right now.
Oh, no.
He's got the quote that Urban Meyer put about, I don't know who puts a story out like that. So he's doing all this stuff showing like, wow, the dude's really butthurt. Paul Feinbaum is all on the Brett McMurphy train. And I'm hoping that people are like going, you just can't listen to anything they're saying. It's nothing but, just this emotional gas bagging of it without letting the facts play out.
Well, when it comes to ESPN, they're all about ratings at this point because they've lost so much when it comes to ratings and their scandals and different things like that. So they're definitely trying as far as that goes. And you can see why they're kind of buying into the hype, if you will, on this report. And that being said,
it does sell. And like I said, honestly,
does.
the way they're putting it out there with really no information and just emotion, it does work. It's got me sucked in. So I guess bravo ESPN on that respect. And maybe that's what it is.
I think that's what it is, honestly. Because now, listen, unfortunately, we live in the TMZ society, right? It's all about what's the big story, what's the attention grabber, what's going to get you the most clicks and the most likes and the most views. And ESPN has essentially fallen victim to that. They have no choice. They can either conform to it and evolve, or they can try to stay behind and end up dying out eventually. And I think that's what's happening.
So are they just trying to be Barstool? Is that what they're doing? That's what ESPN is now? Because they're not doing it as well. Barstool is more entertaining when it comes to sports than ESPN.
I wouldn't say they're going that far. I think they're still trying to keep some of their ESPN shine and integrity, but they have to try to keep up. I mean, because they're getting killed. They're getting killed. And with this is kind of like, hey, we used to have this guy. This is now our shining story that we can put this up on a pedestal and people want to hear about it.
It just doesn't even seem like they're fact-checking anymore. I was watching the other day, and on TV, Stephen A. Smith, when talking about this story, referenced that Urban Meyer's won 2 national championships at Ohio State. Though I would love that, he's only won 1. They didn't come back and correct it. And then Stephen A. Smith later on the days on his radio show and says the same thing again, which makes me believe no one stopped Stephen A. Smith to be like going, hey, dude, by the way, Urban Meyer's only won 1 national championship there at Ohio State. Just wanted to correct you.
Well, it's because they're afraid of him, and he's a cartoon character. So why try to get him right now?
Because they want Stephen A. Smith to be a caricature on TV talking about sports that facts don't matter anymore to ESPN.
They don't matter.
Or good reporting.
That's correct.
And I thought maybe it did when they canned Brett McMurphy and thought, well, why'd they get rid of the guy? Well, maybe now you're starting to see. But yeah, hopefully the investigation plays out. And honestly, this cannot be over soon enough.
Give it another week.
Yes, give it another week. The Canes got a little bit of an injury. This is kind of stuff that happens. You hate seeing this kind of stuff in camp that is going on right now. And I don't know if it's a big injury for them. You know more about the program than I do. Are you concerned over the fact that Michael Irvin II basically about the only real tight end with experience on the Canes roster right now, sustained an MCL injury. It looks like he's going to be out 4 months, which is pretty much the entire regular season.
Yeah, no, he's going to be out. I mean, they do have – it is big because he was going to be the starting tight end. Chris Herndon is off to the NFL now, and he was huge for them last season, and he had an injury at the end of last season, so that was kind of the reason why they were losing those games at the end. Not the main reason, but it hurt them. But look, they have Brevin Jordan, who's one of the highest rated recruits out there at tight end now.
Okay.
They weren't expecting to have to throw him into the mix right away, but it kind of seems like he's going to have to step up.
This doesn't freak you out, this injury?
I wouldn't say it freaks me out. It's not desirable. I'll put it that way.
You don't love it, but you're not like, oh, we're screwed.
They have guys who can back it up. Right.
Okay. His numbers, not amazing. I mean, when you look at what Michael Irvin II has done, he had 9 catches for 78 yards in 12 games last year. So
right.
That's what you're missing.
Yeah, he was still coming up on his own. This was kind of supposed to be his breakout season. But like I said, they have guys who can back it up. And, it's with Miami, it's always next guy up. So that's the situation we're in now.
Coming up here, we're going to be talking a lot about the Dolphins, the good, the bad, and I guess the ugly as well. Dave Hyde from the Sun Sentinel jumping on with us next.
Yep, he's here too. It's Kevin's Other Show, right here on 640 The Hurricane.
Well, tomorrow night gets a little bit more intense.
Yes.
At least a little bit more than that scrimmage that I saw on Saturday at Hard Rock Stadium.
With no tackling.
Dolphins welcoming in Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the first preseason game. Dave Hyde on here with the Sun Sentinel. What's up, Dave?
Hey, how you doing?
Good. How you doing, buddy?
I'm ready for a little football, I guess.
Yes, we all are.
About that time. It's about that time. Now, I saw the scrimmage on Saturday. Saw what was going on. And the one thing, I guess, to try to figure out with what you're seeing with the Dolphins right now and seeing what they did last year, is there any way that you can make any kind of reading as to what this team is going to look like in the regular season from what you've seen so far?
Well, I know it won't be Jay Cutler thrown to Jarvis Landry, which we saw a whole lot of last year. So, I mean, look, it's Ryan Tannehill, right? Basically, what do you think of him? How far can he take the team? Adam Gase got the quarterback he likes back, and that's on the offensive side. Their offensive line should be better. I don't think their receivers are as good as they think they are, but I'm open to a little optimism if it works out that way.
I love it.
I've heard some issues about the chemistry between Tannehill and Devontae Parker. Are you seeing that?
No, I mean, it's probably the same as it's been the last few years. I don't know. I haven't really. You know what? Now I go out there maybe every third day, and I haven't noticed Devontae Parker much. So, I'm not saying that's a bad thing because fourth year he should be getting ready for the season, not flashing here and there in practices. But we all know it's a big year for him. And the guy you are noticing is the rookie tight end, Mike Gesicki. He looks like he's exactly what they might need here.
I've heard some issues with him whiffing on some blocks. Is that going to affect some playing time? Is it as bad as what it sounds? Or is this something you think that Gesicki can pick up and be sustainable during the regular season?
He's not a blocker. He wasn't a blocker in college. He was split out, and and they know that. They drafted him that way, and they so yeah. Every once in a while, he'll have to block here and there, but that's not why he'll be on the field. And they got a tight end in the fourth round who is a blocker, so I'm sure schematically they'll know how to use that. But no, Gesicki's a receiver. He's basically a receiver. We call him a tight end because that's essentially the role he's playing, but he's not a blocking tight end.
Is he more like a Greg Olsen type? I mean, is that somebody? I mean, not to give him too high praise.
Yeah,
someone like that.
I would say in fact, that's who when I was thinking who he looks like, he plays like, and to me, it's more like a Greg Olsen that splitting the seam, can get open, cause mismatches. Very good in the red zone in practice, of course. That's all we've seen. But if you're looking who's really been noticeable of the new guys this year, to me, it's Gesicki.
What do you think about as far as the receiver you think is going to step forward this year? If you had to say projecting, do you think it's going to be Stills, Amendola? Who do you think is going to be the best connection for Tannehill this year?
Well, inside they love Albert Lewis. They have all these plans for him, how they're going to use him and all that. And so, and Albert Lewis, either he was underused in Kansas City or he just wasn't. They didn't think he was that good. And remember they went out and they spent $16 million on Sammy Watkins. Mm-hmm. Now, different receiver than Albert Lewis, but not. They had some overlapping skills. They could have got Albert Lewis for half that. Chicago wanted Albert Lewis, where Kansas City's offensive coordinator went, and the Dolphins got him. So I'm curious to see what he brings to the table.
Talking with Dave Hyde here from the Sun-Sentinel about the Dolphins. Going to be kicking off tomorrow against the Buccaneers, a little preseason action. Looking behind Tannehill, and let's say the unthinkable happens again and we do see an injury. What are you seeing in that second spot? Do you think it's going to be Fales? Osweiler was touting how great he looked in the scrimmage on Saturday, going perfect 7 for 7. What are you seeing backing up Tannehill right now?
I would think they will go and they'll look at who other teams release.
Really? Okay.
I'm not sold on either of these guys. And,
all right.
And, I'm not sure. Look, the question becomes this: do you want to hand the season off to this guy, or do you trust that?
Yeah.
Fales, remember, they cut last year. Now he had a good, a decent game against Buffalo in the finale last year. And so, we'll see. Osweiler, he's been around the block a few times. So I would guess they're going to look at see who gets cut. And then, the preseason will play out who plays better. It'll come down to games between Fales and Osweiler, I think.
Okay,
Dave, I have a question. Am I being unfair to Brock Osweiler? Because on this show, I've been saying for about a month or so now, maybe even longer, that he is just absolute trash. Am I being unfair, or is he just garbage now? Because that's the way it seems to me.
He hasn't. I'm not sitting up noticing when he's running it. Can he be a backup? Third string, probably not third string, because right now that's the guy you put on the practice squad, and he's not eligible. So, nor is Fales. So one of these guys is going to be backup, and one's going to be cut. Mm-hmm. But they both might be cut if they go out and they sign somebody else. So, I haven't seen Osweiler up close in games or anything in practice. He looked really good in the scrimmage the other day against third string. Now, he looked really good, though, so let's see when he moves up in weight class how he looks in preseason here.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I'm hearing it seems like some good things about Kenyon Drake, the running back position for the Dolphins this year. Does it look like he's going to be able to get some serious yardage?
Well, the way he ended up last year is the way they think he'll continue this year, where the last 5 games he led the NFL in rushing yardage. Some of that's a little skewed just from at the end of the year, other running backs were sitting out because of the playoffs. But it doesn't take anything away that he made a noticeable impact at the end of last year, and they think he's going to just keep that going right now and throw in Frank Gore, and they feel like they got a good 1-2 punch at running back.
I heard somebody who's been taking a look at the Dolphins here a little bit in the preseason. Do you think they look better than the team that was out there last year from what you're seeing from year to year, or do you think that they're worse?
Oh, I think they're better than last year.
Yay.
But, let's just go with Tannehill over Jay Cutler.
Yeah,
one of the
that's a good
point. Okay, no, really, it's a lot of it's that simple.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And, the other thing, to get beyond that a little more technical, one of the things that they built their defense around is last year 65% of the plays run against their defense were 3 wide receiver formations, and they didn't have the personnel to combat that. Teams knew that. It's kind of weird that they weren't in the modern NFL defensive era to play that way, but they went out and they got Micah Fitzpatrick, who's flexible. He can play safety, some cornerback. And they got really guys to fit how the modern NFL is this year. Now, the question is, do teams switch it up now and say, okay, but Ndamukong Suh's not there, we will run the ball down your throat? It'll be curious. Bill Belichick in New England, he can go either way, pass or run, and he's proved it through the years. So it'll be interesting to see how they attack the Dolphins.
Appreciate it, Dave Hyde, Sun Sentinel. Check out his columns and the videos you do. Everything is absolutely fantastic. Appreciate you taking a couple minutes to talk to us, Dave.
All right, thanks for having me.
Okay, be good. Coming up here, the Dolphins have made a move, too. To me, the game is part of it, but another part of it, too, is just the atmosphere as well. I was talking to somebody last night about the season tickets they had, and they're like going, we sat in the sun, and it felt like it was 800 degrees.
So bad.
I was really impressed with the stadium. Really, the first time I've been in it on Saturday since the improvements that they made. There are a couple really cool things. There are going to be some new things you're going to see with the stadium and also with the practice facilities. I'll drop that on you coming up next.
Be part of the show on Twitter at 640 The Hurricane, hashtag Kevin's Other Show.
When it comes to football, a big part of it is the team. If they're doing well and winning, it's a fun experience. Sure. But there are a lot of other elements that make up for it. The tailgating, the food, the booze, the music. There are hot chicks around.
It's all part of the experience.
It is. When you go inside the stadium, I was impressed when I went into Hard Rock Stadium on Saturday just to check out the scrimmage. They got 2 craft beer bars, which I'm like going, okay, great selection. That's just my jam. I'm all about that.
You're in now, right?
I am in, baby.
That's it.
And they're making a couple additions, too, which I think makes a lot of sense when it comes to food. To me, it's a big part of it as well. Some things that you're going to see that's going to be a little bit different at Hard Rock Stadium this year. They're going to be throwing around Brews Room. They're going to be in there.
Nice.
Schulerberger is going to be in there.
Oh, delicious.
I saw that's a couple things that you're going to be able to choose from. They also brewed that contract with Papa John's.
Oh, they did?
Papa John's is gone, yeah.
Okay, so that's gone.
They said the contract expired and they made the decision before, the Papa himself started dropping the N-bomb.
Oh, so they actually got out in front of it.
Yeah, March
Dolphins,
31st is when that expired. They just said, nah, we've had enough. I think they saw the writing on the wall. This guy's just a headache.
They did something smart. How about that?
Yeah, so they're bringing in something called And Pizza, which is like an oblong-shaped personal pie is what it features. And then they're also bringing in Mojo Donuts.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry. This all sounds really good. Pizza, donuts, burgers. It'll be very enjoyable.
Big part of it. You got to keep up.
Yeah.
It's about the fan experience.
And the craft beer put all together.
Yeah, it's definitely a much better experience at the stadium than what they had a couple years ago with the improvements. So I'm definitely feeling it. And honestly, I was in the shade at 12:30 in the afternoon, and it was fine.
Okay, good.
But I've heard if you get stuck in the sun, it's torture.
Oh, no, yeah, it's bad. But if with the way that they have now renovated that stadium to have, that awning that covers most of the fans, it's a lot better than it used to be.
Yeah, but a buddy of mine, he bought season tickets. I think he said they were like $15,000.
Whoa.
And they thought they had the sun mapped out correctly. And they told him that, first 3 games you'd be in the sun, but after that you'd be in the shade. He said he was in the sun for the first 9.
Oh, that's rough.
Because they didn't project the whatever right, however it just fell.
So, this is what it's become now. That ticket salesmen of the Dolphins have to be like, I don't know, an astrologist and calculate the position of the sun.
You can't. To me, how can you sell those at the same price as somebody sitting in the? It's a night and day difference.
Yeah,
between your comfort
literally.
level. It really is.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine sitting there, and I've sat in the sun before they had the awnings, and it was brutal.
Oh, it was rough. But at least with that, at least for me, you could mentally prepare enough to say to yourself, okay, I know I'm going to be in the sun. Let me get my sunscreen. Let me wear comfortable clothes. I won't wear any black shirts or anything. You knew going into it you were going to be hot and uncomfortable, but that was just the way it was when you went to go see Dolphins games.
A couple other things are going to be moving the practice facilities. Looks like probably 2020.
Yeah, it's happening, right? They announced it.
Yeah. Sounds like they're going to be dropping some coin, about $80 million. Oof. They're going to be doing state-of-the-art facilities, 2 outdoor fields, 1 indoor, cafeteria, meeting rooms, all that kind of stuff. It's going to be going right next to Hard Rock Stadium, facing University Drive, if you know the area around the stadium.
Okay, so it's kind of like on the other side, not by the turnpike, but it's going to be on the other side.
Yeah, opposite side over there. So that's where you're going to be able to go and see the practices, all that kind of stuff. They also talked about the unis. What they're going to be wearing. The Dolphins going to be wearing the throwback unis twice this season, once against the Bills, once against the Patriots. Both those games going to be in December. They're going to wear their white jerseys 4 times. The aqua jersey is going to be going down twice. And then they're doing that all aqua in the regular season home finale.
Really?
Yeah. You don't like that one?
No.
Okay, what's your favorite Dolphin combo?
I've always been a fan. I'm an old school guy, so I love when they do the old school uniforms. That's always the best. I just wish they would bring that back. Bring back the old logo, the old school
No,
uniforms.
they're not better than the new ones, are they? Really? You think so?
I've always liked them. That's just me. I like the old, the powder plug.
So you would say
powder blue
undo the
jerseys.
new ones and go completely old school?
I would.
Full time.
Yeah, that's the way I see it. But if we stay in new school, I like with the aqua and the white. That mix, to me, has
White
always been
pants,
nice.
white helmet?
Actually, I've always more liked the aqua pants. If you get the white jersey with
Okay.
the aqua pants.
Aqua pants, white jersey,
Yeah.
white helmet.
That's kind of been my mix.
What's your feel on the orange jersey?
I was never a big fan of the orange jersey. Remember when they did that?
Yeah.
Ricky Williams?
It seems like they don't do well when they wear it,
no,
right?
no, they didn't.
I don't have the records in front of me, but it just seems like, it just never went well.
Yeah, it wasn't. Look, they're not the Miami Hurricanes, all right? Miami Hurricanes wear orange. Dolphins don't need to be wearing orange jerseys. Now, granted, I did have one, but that's neither here nor there. Aside from that, I've always been more partial. Just kind of the nice, crisp, old school look. Give me some aqua, give me some white. You throw in the orange trim. I'm good with that.
You don't have to worry about anything with the anthem. It's not going to play in on Thursday. Keep in mind, if you forgot, they've put the whole anthem thing on hold because the league now is doing what they should have done in the first place. They're actually talking to the NFLPA about it. So nothing's going to be happening. But Adam Gase, even on top of it, depending upon what they do, he is not a fan of even talking about it. They asked him, said, okay, what are you going to do if a player kneels? And he's like, look, talk to somebody else about it. I'm coaching football. I'm not dealing with all this.
Smart.
Yeah, he just
Good.
don't, I get it. I mean, he's tired of it. He's like, it's so played.
We all are. I mean, it's so tiresome. And you know what? The only thing I'm not looking forward to now with football at this point is the fact that we're going to be talking about this again as soon as week 1 rolls around in the beginning of September. It's going to be so-and-so kneeled. Donald Trump said this.
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick is blackballed. And it's just a vicious cycle.
I hope not. I hope they just kind of leave it. I mean, haven't we got to the point where it's like, okay, it's not about the anthem. It's about them trying to make a statement about social injustice. They're not trying to be disrespectful. Don't take it as such. That whole story that we put about Colin Kaepernick, I don't think when Colin Kaepernick started kneeling that the narrative was written that people knew and said, hey, look, this is an honorary thing I'm doing. I'm still paying tribute to the flag, to the anthem, but I'm trying to send a message as well about social injustice. If you get that, it's a win-win-win, right? Are we all cool?
I was thinking about that today, actually, because we had said it a few weeks back when everything was going on with the anthem. You brought up the fact that nothing that really anybody talks about is that the guy who came up with the idea to kneel was a former Marine.
Right.
He didn't like that Colin Kaepernick was sitting down on the bench during the national anthem. He said, well, look, and he actually got in touch with them. They spoke, and they had a one-on-one together and said, why don't
It was
you
his
kneel?
idea.
It was his
to Kaepernick.
idea.
He said, look, we kneel at grave sites. There are times where we kneel to pay respect. So do that, pay respect to the flag and the anthem, and you still make your message.
And it's just amazing how that has never come out. I wonder why Colin Kaepernick never said that.
I don't know. I mean, because if that would have been the narrative of it, I think this whole thing would have been a moot point, saying, look, let them make a statement. No one's being disrespectful. They're just trying to say, look, we love America. We love the anthem. We love the flag, which is what made so many people concerned. But we're just trying to say we want a better America, and we can still get better.
Right.
Let's bring awareness to how we can do it.
You see, now it's too late because the narrative is just we're
It's a
a few
mess.
years into this. It's gone. Yeah.
And then you got places, there's a Beef O'Brady's in Brooksville, Florida, that's canceled their whole NFL package, so they're making a big statement about it, said, we'll take the losses on Sunday.
Hey, well, you know what? Best of luck to them. I think, though, they're doing something for veterans, though, right?
Yeah,
they're
I
having
think so.
40% off for veterans on
Well,
Sundays.
you got to
which-
do something. What are you going to do other than just like, we're not going to show football? Good
Yeah.
luck. Beef O'Brady's.
At least they'll still have some.
They already don't have the best food.
But hey, you know, they're not serving those Shula burgers at Beef O'Brady's.
No.
No, they're not. But you know what? Look, if they want to make their stand, if that's the way they feel, then you know, fine with. That's fine. Good for them. But at least they're doing something for the veterans in that aspect where they're saying, 40% off on Sundays. You want to do that? At least it ends well there. But yeah, good luck not showing football games.
Jim Brown was on before Hard Knocks last night saying that he would never have knelt. And he was like a social activist.
It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge for him to say
Did you
that.
watch Hard Knocks last night? See Jarvis Landry? People are loving what went on with him.
He went off, man.
Yeah, they're saying he looked good, and they're saying Hugh Jackson looked like he has no control of that team.
Yeah, he made. Really? Gee, they
I
only
know.
went 0-16 last year. I can't imagine that Hugh
This
Jackson.
is a revelation, yeah.
Yeah.
If you missed it, here was Jarvis Landry going off on Hard Knocks last night on HBO.
I don't know what the been going on here, and I don't know why it's been going on here, but if you're not hurt, like if your hamstring ain't falling off the bone, your leg ain't broke, I don't know, like you should be practicing, like straight up. Like that is weakness, and that is contagious as and that ain't gonna be in this room, bro. That been here in the past, and that's why the past has been like it is, bro.
There you go.
Fair enough. You like all the tones I put in there? I kind of had to switch it up there.
It's pretty good, yeah.
Yeah.
It sounded like we were getting a fax.
It's a little bit of
Interesting.
an orchestra. By the way, screw you, Jarvis Landry, because you know how hard that was to do? I had to cut out half the clip. It was a minute and a half of him just totally cursing for a minute and a half. I'm like, I can't do this. I only have to use some of it, so...
It's pretty good.
Amazing.
People were raving about it, though. They said it was a really good episode last night. They even showed us some Baker Mayfield. So sounds like people were buying into it. It's a good show.
It is. It's usually good. Some seasons have been better than others.
Yeah,
but
Browns seemed like the right pick.
Yeah, I think it'll be good.
The NBA Christmas Day schedule is out.
Hey now,
unbelievable matchups. We'll let you know what's in it. And is there a sign of trouble on social media for the Miami Heat? We'll let you know what it is next.
Get Kevin's other show whenever the hell you want on YouTube and at 640thehurricane.com.
Got to tell you, the NBA's Christmas Day schedule is looking pretty amazing. But it also lets you know that if your team is not playing on Christmas Day, your team is probably not winning an NBA championship. So it's kind of awesome, but it's also depressing when you don't see the Miami Heat on the schedule. And you're like going, okay, well, all right. It's going to be one of those years. You got the Lakers at Golden State taking on the Warriors.
Right. That's the big one.
Yeah, Celtics 76ers.
That's pretty good. I'll take it.
And the Rockets playing the Thunder in Houston.
I like it.
That's a full day of just wow.
So that Lakers Golden State matchup, that's the 8:00 game on ABC, right?
Yeah, I didn't see the times on them, so I don't know when they're doing what.
It's got to be. I mean, I can't imagine because it's the West Coast, so it's gonna be 5:00 for them.
Yeah, I'm sure because of that.
It's got to be.
Yeah.
I would say if you got to rank them, because there's a fourth game in there that's not even worth mentioning. It was the Bucks and the Knicks. Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, you put that on 8 a.m.
That's getting while everybody's opening presents.
Yeah,
Just put that on. That's got to be the noon game. I would say Rockets and Thunder would be 3:00, and then put the Sixers and Celtics right in between Lakers and Warriors in that Rockets game. I think that's your top four right there.
Which one is the most intriguing to you? I think the Lakers Warriors just because it's new and you want to see it, but how good of a competition are the Lakers going to give the Warriors? I mean, legitimately, I'm not talking about just on Christmas Day, but do you really think that they're going to be relatively close?
Oh no, they're going to get killed.
Yeah,
I mean it's going to be a primetime game on Christmas night, and it's going to be a blowout.
But I think LeBron, knowing that he's on prime time, he's on Christmas Day, he's going to be giving it everything he's got. So you're going to see LeBron ball out on Christmas Day.
Oh, yeah, he's going to perform well. He'll score 40 points, set records and things like that for best performances on Christmas Day. It's going to be a lot of fun, man. You're going to have Steph Curry going against LeBron again. It's a finals rematch, essentially, just without the rest of the Cavaliers. It's just the one Cavalier.
I think probably the most competitive is going to be your Celtics 76ers.
That's actually the one, aside obviously from Lakers Warriors for the obvious reasons. That is really, I think, going to be the best match of Christmas because you're talking about that could be the Eastern Conference Finals.
Right.
Those two teams could be battling in June or end of May to see who goes to play in the finals. Mm-hmm. That's going to be a good one.
I think it's going to be interesting this year just to see, and I assume LeBron's got his Maverick Carter and his whole crew that's going to be handling all of his Hollywood business. But, I mean, he's got a lot of projects going on. I mean, just yesterday we were talking about the one show he's going to be doing where he's going to be, going off about the politics. Today, I had to check and see. I'm like, well, is this the same thing? No, it's a brand new show. I mean, every day it's like a different project he's got. It was like last week it was a movie voiceover deal.
Yes, yeah, it's going to be a big movie, that Bigfoot movie.
Yeah, then yesterday was the one we were talking about. Now it's a show called $1 Million Mile. He's doing with CBS. A 10-episode high-stakes series that gives everyday athletes an opportunity to win big money.
So this is different from the Shut Up and Dribble documentary that came out. They talked yesterday.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it says everyday athletes. So these aren't going to be professional athletes. So I'm like going, do you really need to give professional athletes an opportunity to win big money?
Right. So it's like an average Joe's type thing.
We're going to take guys that make $10 million a year and give them a chance to make 10 more.
That's intriguing TV. Yeah.
While we have poor people watch. That actually would be great.
Could you imagine?
It'd be, poor people sitting there watching rich people get richer.
Yes. Well, put like Steph Curry on there. Or Chris Paul, who just signed that ginormous contract.
And then we'll watch them go out and spend their money foolishly on stupid things like cars and unnecessary fifth houses.
Look, man, you got to have 2 Bugattis. All right? That's a necessity. That's not unnecessary. 2 Bugattis.
While we see kids that don't even have dinner.
Yes, exactly.
New from LeBron James and Maverick Carter.
I don't think that show would do well. Or you can,
I don't know. Maybe do great.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they say the series is going to challenge athletes' physical and mental toughness. Is going to shut down major city streets to make way for the course, which completed will give contestants the choice to win $1 million.
Interesting.
So there you go. Everyday athletes making money.
I guess
That's
I'll watch.
what it's all about.
Whenever it comes on, I'll take a look at it, see what it's like.
Well, like I said, with the Christmas Day schedule, you realize, okay, when your team's not playing
Yes.
and they're showcasing, 8 teams?
Yes, 8 teams. Yeah,
It's not
4
one of,
games.
that's the one thing I miss. That's the only thing. Christmas is a little depressing because I really loved those days when it was LeBron James in a Miami Heat jersey on Christmas Day, and you knew the whole country was watching, and they were all jealous and envious of what you had.
We had it 4 years straight.
Now we're on the other side.
Yeah.
Now we got the ugly girlfriend.
Yeah. Why are the Bucks? The Bucks are playing in a Christmas Day game,
I
and
don't
the
get
Heat
that.
aren't. The Knicks. The Knicks I can get because it's Madison Square Garden. So if you want a big stage, Madison Square Garden on Christmas, fine. Even though they're terrible. But really?
Yesterday we were talking about how David Aldridge said that the Heat had the worst offseason of any team in the NBA.
Jerk, moron.
Are there problems that are going on? And can you look to social media to try to get any kind of cues? You said that there were a couple Heat players that have totally wiped out their Instagram.
That's correct.
So I don't even know what this means. What is this statement? Like, celebrities will do this. And, honestly, I would tell some athletes who keep getting in trouble for racist tweets that they put out when they were 17, probably a good idea to maybe go purge your social media. But it seems like when this happens lately, this is a statement from a player who's trying to send a message to the franchise that I don't like what you're doing, and I'm wiping away any history of me ever in one of your jerseys or being in your city.
It's so childish, but that's what it is now.
Is it a move that's deliberate?
Yes.
That you got to read something into it, or
Yeah.
could it be accidental? Could there be another reason? And who are the Heat players that have gone out and purged their Instagram?
Yeah, this is kind of like the new wave of players. You have to watch what they do on social media because now you got Deion Waiters and James Johnson,
Okay.
who have been involved along with Tyler Johnson. All 3 have been rumored to be involved in trade talks here. And Tyler Johnson, they're not saying what he's done on his social media, but James Johnson and Deion Waiters have apparently deleted all their Heat-related posts on Instagram.
So
And
what does that mean?
weird.
A move's coming?
It's either that a move is coming or that they're bitter and they're upset and they're acting like children and saying, "Oh, well, I'm just gonna take you out of all my posts now." I mean, that's what it is. You see this. This has happened with other NBA players. They just delete stuff.
Well, what are they trying to say? Are they upset because they believe that they are involved in trade talks where they could be gone? Are they upset because they don't feel like they're getting enough money? Because I don't know where the Heat's going to get much more.
They can't.
What is it that they're trying to say? What do you think it is? And does it concern you? Or you're like going, who cares? We'll be all right one way or the other.
It's concerning at the point where what do they know that we don't? Like, do they know they're about to get traded? Mm-hmm. Because my point has been to, when I'm trashing David Aldridge, when he's saying that the Heat are, the least improved team in all the NBA, my point was, well, they're bringing everybody back in James Johnson and Deion Waiters and Wayne Ellington. Well, maybe they're not.
So you think maybe David Aldridge knew something, didn't fully put it in, said, just wait, give it a week, and you'll see why the Heat are the last.
Yeah, maybe. Which that
Okay.
would make me really upset because I killed him today. I just called him a jerk and a moron 3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So I would feel like the jerk and moron if that happened.
Maybe he was on it.
Not happy about this.
All right. Hey, check out our podcast. Easy to find. Just look for Kevin's Other Show. You can also find us on YouTube, too. Just go to the KVJ Show or just go to YouTube and be like, boom, Kevin's Other Show. Just type it up in the search. You'll find it that way. And you can also go on to the Twitter as well. See what we're putting out there. A lot of local sports stuff. A lot of stuff about the Dolphins. Get our takes on that. Go follow us right now. Kevin's Other Show.
You listened to him on the KVJ show for years. Every time he tried to talk sports, he'd get shut down. After years of begging, we finally gave in. Brought to you by Wellington Anti-Aging. Low T? Go to wellingtonantiaging.com. And by Bremen Motor Cars in West Palm Beach, a world-class experience. Shop BremenPorsche.com now. It's Kevin's Other Show on 640 The Hurricane.